Need to know about approaching severe weather. WHIO.
Can I turn on your radio?
Yes, already.
It's almost showtime.
Who's your favorite talk radio personality?
That's Todd.
He's weird.
Monday through Friday.
He's strange.
5 to 7.
Sloppy.
I mean, he sounds perfect.
He's dreamy.
What do you say? Let's get it going.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
What is this? What? It's a flashback of sorts.
Merry-go-round.
What?
Unique fashions for guys and gals.
Oh my God. Remember that store, the merry-go-round at the Dayton Mall? Why that commercial now? Well, I saw this today on Facebook that it was on this date, 55 years ago in 1970, that the Dayton Mall opened. 55 years ago. Man, oh man. That is quite the memory. I used to go there all the time. And the merry-go-round, that was like my favorite store. And I just happened to find that commercial online, so I thought I'd play that, and maybe you've got some fond memories of the Dayton Mall. I remember going to the Chess King, Baccarat. That was a nice place to go to. I like the men's clothes, the Gap, and of course Spencer Gifts, and that's where I got my ear pierced the first time. I'm sure there's many people out there who got their ears pierced the first time at Spencer Gifts, and maybe the second, third, and fourth, and 12th time. But anyway, yeah, the Dayton Mall opened on this date in 1970. Kind of cool. 937-457-1290. It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. The live stream is up and rolling on Facebook and YouTube. And we only have an hour tonight. We've got UD basketball. The Flyers are at Fordham in the Bronx. Hope their bus doesn't get stolen while it's parked out front of the arena. But that's happening tonight, pregame just after 6 o'clock. A couple of things I saw right off the bat today. This is I don't know where I'm going to go now to buy my spandex and felt, because I don't know if you saw this, but Jo-Ann Fabrics is closing down a ton of stores, approximately 500. And I didn't know that if this was a news story, in the sense that I think I've heard that Jo-Ann Fabrics was having some issues, but now today they're saying, yeah, we're just going to close all these stores down. I guess they filed for bankruptcy last month, the second time in less than a year. And the stores that they're going to shutter, Springfield, Upper Valley Pike, Fairborn. Now, a lot of people think that's the Beaver Creek Jo-Ann Fabrics. I saw a bunch of comments today online where they were talking about the Beaver Creek Jo-Ann Fabrics. That's actually Fairborn, technically, over there in that mall area, Center Drive. The Dayton location on Salem Avenue, down in Mason, and then Hamilton. So, look, if you are a Jo-Ann Fabrics customer, what are you going to do? Where else do you go to buy all your material? I don't know where I'm going to go to get my spandex and felt, but I'm going to have to locate somewhere for sure. 937-457-1290 is the number. Today, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced their nominees for 2025. Listen to this lineup of nominees. We got Mariah Carey. Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, and Fish. Also, the Black Crowes and Oasis. Oasis. I love Oasis. I really do. I've always been an Oasis fan. Let's see. What else? We got Bad Company, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol. Yeah, Billy Idol should be in. I mean, he's on tour this summer with Joan Jett. Billy Idol should be in, 100%. Joy Division with New Order. Mana. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Mana, M-A-N-A, Mana. Soundgarden and the White Stripes. I think Chubby Checker definitely should be in. Cyndi Lauper, 100%. Joe Cocker, yeah, I already mentioned Billy Idol. Bad Company, yeah, I think so. But I don't know about the rest. I mean, I like the Black Crowes, and again, like I said, I like Oasis, but I'm just not so sure about at least not yet. At least not yet. But the induction ceremonies are going to be later this year, and the inductees will be revealed in late April. So if you got any comments on that, 937-457-1290. Penny and Quincy. Hey, Penny.
Hi, Todd. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Where's Quincy located?
Quincy is like 6 miles north of Kaiser Lake on 235, and it's 10 miles east of Sydney, Ohio, which is where I'm coming from.
Oh, I got you. I live
out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
I live
okay.
by solar panels.
Oh, okay. So what's happening, Penny?
Well, you were talking about the mall, and I got a really good story about the mall. This was 1974. I was working at Copeland's, and there was a whole bunch of us one night decided to go down and see The Exorcist.
Exorcist. Yeah.
Exorcist,
right.
Which I hated, but that's beside the point. And it was late. Our show was probably 10 o'clock. It gets over, and as we're getting ready to walk out, there came a streaker. And
I love that.
It was like, oh my God.
See,
everybody's like,
Penny, I talk about this all the time. The streaking today is not the same as the streaking of yesteryear.
No, this guy had nothing but black tennis shoes on.
Oh, yes. That is awesome. Streakers in the 70s, that was the thing. That was a fad. Not like now at sports arenas, when somebody runs out on the football field, which, by the way, very rarely are they ever completely naked.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, there was a streaker out on the field, and you're looking and you just see some fat guy without a shirt on. That's not streaking.
No, this was the real thing, and we're all like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck's going on?"
That must have been the thrill for a bunch. Were you in high school then?
No, I must have been 26.
Okay, so a young woman nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah, very exciting times there at the Dayton Mall,
yes,
for sure.
Very much so. I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
I love that. Thank you, Penny. I love that story. Have a good one. Jim in Centerville. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Jim, you weren't the streaker, were you?
I was not.
No,
yet,
okay. All right.
But I remember when the mall first opened, and we went, and I was just a kid, and before there was an elevator there was a spiraling staircase.
Oh, yes, the grand staircase, I believe, is what they called it.
And that's how you got up there. And then the second year, they built the elevator as like phase 2. And then over the years, I've seen that sign where it says Macy's. I think it said Shillito's, then it said Wright, then it said Lazarus most of my time.
Yeah.
And now it says Macy's. And one thing I remember, too, when you came out by the Elder Beerman side, and if you look down to the south, you could see a drive-in. Because there where Hills and Cubs Foods used to be a drive-in.
Yeah. Somebody actually brought that up like a week or so ago on the show, and I had forgotten about that. When I was growing up, over in that area, there was some place called Malibu Grand Prix, and it was like a video arcade, and they had like a racetrack for go-karts. These really cool sort of indie-looking go-karts, and then there was the movie theater over there.
I was a card member of Malibu, and it was like an arcade and a racetrack deal.
Yeah. Cool. I appreciate it, Jim. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a good night. The one thing I remember about the Dayton Mall, and it was actually something that took place out in the parking lot. And I don't know for how many years they did this, but they used to have a circus there. And like a real circus, the circus came to town and they had all the animals that you would expect to see in a giant big top circus. And I remember going there quite a few times with my mom, and it was always some it was like after school one day, and we'd go and we'd watch the circus. And somewhere there is a like a Polaroid photo of me holding a baby lion cub. Like they have these little lion cubs, that they'd let you just hold and take a picture with, and it's kind of cool. But that was a great memory of the Dayton Mall. I also remember working for Santa there. I was working in radio, and we went out to do a remote at the mall, as many radio stations did at the time. So usually like on Black Friday, that was like a big deal. And I saw Santa working there, and I told the lady who run the place, I said, hey, that would be kind of fun. Could I get a gig with Santa one Saturday? And she said, oh, sure, come on down. Well, I ended up doing that. And to this day, I still work for Santa during the holidays from time to time. It's kind of cool. It is Wing It Wednesday. So coming up after 5:30, usually we do Wing It Wednesday in the 6 o'clock hour, but tonight we don't have a 6 o'clock hour show because we got UD basketball. But the folks at the United Rehabilitation Services, they have a big event coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. And next Wednesday, I've already got somebody scheduled. So I said, yeah, come on in. We've had folks from the United Rehabilitation Services on many times, and they're going to talk about their 26th, and I remember playing in this, annual North Dayton Barstool Open. So that's coming up just after 5:30.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, a hero.
Oh, he's a keeper.
It's fun listening. It's a good ride, but there's never any real danger.
Give it some time, man. You'll realize. You'll see. He'll grow on you.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Now from the WHIO News Center, here are the three big things you need to know. President Trump speaks with the Russian leader in hopes of stopping the war in Ukraine. Egg prices reach record levels today, according to the Consumer Price Index. And our current top local story, freezing rain and accumulating ice in northern portions of the Miami Valley this evening.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, by
Buttons.
President gets a new title today. We'll have that for you at 5:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
You ain't going to want to miss this.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream up on Facebook and YouTube. Ron, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So we had a radio meeting today, and we were talking about egg prices and just how off the charts they are. And you had a story a little while ago that it's the highest in what, decades or something? I mean,
no, it's just 2 years.
Oh, okay, just 2 years. Okay, but I was trying to think.
But it is a record, though. It's the highest that the record was set like 2 years ago.
So I was trying to think if there was some sort of, and you know how I like to think about these things out loud and on the show because we have a lot of creative people. I was trying to think if there's something we could do. Some sort of egg promotion or chicken promotion.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people, we joked about it the other day that at some point there's going to be egg riots. But I feel like there might be something we can do to help the edgeheads out there who might be struggling to try to get the eggs that they need.
Right.
And I'm sort of at a loss. I thought about, and I mentioned this morning in the meeting, giving away cartons of eggs. Like if somehow, but then we have to get the eggs.
Yeah.
And if we get the eggs, we're taking the eggs from the, other people.
Right.
Which is not a good look.
Right.
And then I thought a little bit later, well, could we give away a chicken that lays eggs?
Possible.
And I thought, well, that's a possibility. And I looked online and a fully grown chicken that lays eggs costs between $25 and $100.
Or coming this spring, they do it every year. Tractor Supply Company, Rural King, all those places, they have chicks.
Yeah.
They have chickens and ducks.
Yeah.
Let's go buy a few chicks.
Right.
And then give those away.
Well, Brittany Otto, Miami Valley's Morning News, she lives on a farm. She's got lots of chickens and other things, but in particular chickens. And she said this morning, it takes a chick about 4 months after it's born to become, I guess, big enough, old enough, experienced enough to lay eggs.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do that, I feel like we need to do it now. We don't want to wait until the spring. So I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know either.
So maybe somebody's got some ideas. Tomorrow night, we may talk about this.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Wing It Wednesday coming up shortly. So I just want to, there's got to be a way because whenever something hits the fan, WHIO is there. When there was the water shortage a couple of years ago, we gave away, cases of bottled water. After the tornadoes, we held fundraising drives and food drives and all these different things. This could be the next deal.
Yeah, the great chicken crisis of 2025.
That's right.
Yeah.
The great chicken crisis of the Miami Valley. All right. Well, we'll think about it. Maybe somebody's got an idea.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO. We'll break in whenever you need to know about approaching severe weather. WHIO.
Don't give me that politics, Jazz. It's not my racket.
People are tired of hearing nothing but doom.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Just kind of wing it and see where the moment takes us.
Yeah, I think we should probably just wing it.
If you go in there, you're going to have to wing it.
Sometimes you just gotta wing it, right?
Or we could just wing it.
Go ahead and wing it. So we're just going to wing it?
You know, I think I'm just going to wing it.
Just wing it.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream up on Facebook and YouTube. And it is Wing It Wednesday, doing it an hour earlier tonight. Usually we do it in the 6 o'clock hour, but we got UD basketball coming up. Flyers are at Fordham in New York City in the Bronx. And we'll have the pregame just after 6. So we're doing Wing It Wednesday. And the reason we're doing it, not just early because of basketball, but the folks at United Rehabilitation Services, they contacted me a week or so ago, and they said, hey, we've got this great event that's coming up. We'd like to come on your show. And I said, all right, well, let's look at the schedule. Well, I got somebody scheduled already for next Wednesday. And their event is Saturday, February 22nd. So I wanted to get him in here and make sure we talk about this, because this is a longtime tradition here in Dayton. And joining me in the studio is Laura Lafakis.
Perfect.
Did I say it correctly?
You
Lafakis?
said it perfectly, yes.
Lafakis.
Lafakis.
Lafakis, yeah. And she is the Chief Development Officer. Ooh, that's impressive.
It is.
Yeah. But she's here to talk about the 26th annual North Dayton Barstool Open. And this is a cool thing. This has been going on, like I said, for 26 years. And I remember being a part of this in years past at other radio stations where I worked at. And it's basically like miniature golf, and you're bouncing bar to bar.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So you've got a number of places, right? Where are we talking?
So we have 9 bars. We have the Corner Club, Irish Club Maggie's, Wings, Sports Bar and Grill, Sub House, the Vandalia location, Little York Tavern, the Villa Tavern, Rip Rap Roadhouse, and Spitfire.
The Villa Tavern is
so
the
good.
home of the Cheez-It Pizza.
It is.
They just sold their 300th a couple of weeks ago. Pretty cool.
That is
they all
pretty cool.
started that because of this show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But Laura has brought some wings. By the way, where are the wings from? Give them a shout out.
I'm definitely am. I brought wings from Buffalo Wild Wings for 3 reasons.
Okay.
Number 1, they are amazing.
Mhm.
Number 2, they have such a wide variety of sauces and rubs. And number 3, they have been a longtime supporter of U.R.S's Rubber Duck Regatta as a prize sponsor.
Well, there you go. It makes
Yeah.
all the sense.
Yes, it does.
And we're giving them a little bit of free love here.
Free love.
So let's talk about the this Barstool Open, how it works, how people can get involved. Just the whole deal. Just give us the whole synopsis here.
The whole synopsis.
Yeah.
It is a really fun pub crawl through 9 of North Dayton's best bars. You gather a team of 4, just like a golf team.
Mhm.
Each bar puts together their own unique mini putt hole.
Right.
And then your team travels throughout all of the bars, and you take your shot at sinking your ball in the hole.
And it's what's cool about this. And you said that like each bar, they're responsible for creating their own hole. And what I remember in years past, and you also do one down in the Oregon district.
We do.
right?
Yes. That's in October,
Yeah.
November.
And I remember doing that one. And I think I was at Newcomb's.
Mhm.
And I want to say, and this, I'm almost certain that their golf hole somehow incorporated an original model of the original Newcomb's Tavern that is over at Carillon.
Mhm.
And then you mentioned to me that the Oregon Express, which is all about trains, and they got that cool electric train in the bar. You just look down the glass, and there's their golf hole was train related.
The train set. Yeah.
So see, that's so cool. It's
Yeah.
not just some here's some green felt and a golf ball and a club. You know, it's something. It's different. It's interesting.
The Dayton bars are really cool too. The Irish Club comes up with a really great hole, and Maggie's every year they do a different theme. Last year it was a carnival theme, so they had carnival games and like a fortune teller.
Cool.
So it's awesome.
That's cool. So, how do now? It says here that there's wait a second, a costume contest.
So most of the players dress up in costume. We had a Wheel of Fortune team last year who won. The Addams family. It's really cool. You should go to our event page and look at the pictures.
What's the web address?
U.R.S.Dayton.org.
Well, that's very simple.
Yes.
That's very simple. So talk a little bit. We talked about the Barstool Open, and you can get details there at that website, URSDayton.org, on all the detail and how you can register, right?
Yes.
So why don't you talk a little bit more about the services that you provide, because that's what all this is about. You know, this is a fundraising event to sort of fund all the programs that you have.
Absolutely. So the 25 years that the North Dayton Barstool has been open has raised about $300,000 for U.R.S's programs and services.
$300,000.
Yes.
Wow.
And U.R.S. has been in the Dayton area for almost 70 years now. So we provide services to children and adults with disabilities from the age of 6 weeks all the way into the senior years. In fact, one of the clients that we had was about 90 years old when he stopped coming to U.R.S. So we really look to support the child or the adult throughout their lifetime.
Right. So beyond just this Barstool Open, I know you mentioned the regatta, and that has been going on for a long time.
21 years this year.
Right. Now, I know it used to be like down on the river, right? And then they started doing it, I get, like during COVID, right?
It was virtual.
They moved, that became virtual, and now they're doing it. Are they still doing it at the drive-in, or are they going to do something different?
Nope, we're back at the river.
Cool.
Yeah, Riverscape Metro Park. And this will be our third year back at the river. We were back there in 2023.
Okay. Yeah.
It's our biggest fundraiser.
Yeah. Well, I remember we used to have the big giant duck out front. Yeah. Kind of scary.
Well, it's fun.
Well, but if you're not expecting it.
to just walk up and see it, yeah.
Well, I was going out one night and it went like, boom, there it is. And I was just, I was taken aback. I was taken aback by the giant rubber duck.
Quackers.
Yeah. So once again, this Barstool Open, the North Dayton Barstool Open, the 26 years year is Saturday, February 22nd, and a shotgun start. Now, unlike, and this is important, if you're thinking about putting a team together, unlike the Barstool Open that goes on in the Oregon district, and you mentioned this, down there you can go just kind of walk from bar to bar.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this one is at different locations. So what we don't want is you to go have a drink or two at a place, hit your golf ball, get in your car, and then drive to the next place.
Yes.
Have a couple of drinks.
Yes.
And you have to prepare for this, right?
Right. So you have to have a designated driver. But
Yeah.
honestly, what the majority of our players do is they rent party buses or they hire drivers to take them around from bar to bar.
See, that's the way to do it. It's safe and it's fun. And you don't want to, this is one of those cool things where, something like that could just make it, just turn the whole thing on its head. You know what I mean?
It could.
So,
yeah. And in the 25 years, it's been amazing, and we've not had a single incident. So,
right.
So they do take it responsibly. They do it responsibly.
Very cool. What else would you like to tell us? How about personal stuff?
Personal stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
How long have you been in Dayton?
Oh, you were going to ask that. You're going to make fun of me.
Why am I going to make fun of you?
Because I was born in Michigan, and I
well,
moved
that
up
wraps
here.
up our interview for tonight. I appreciate you coming.
I knew
what
it,
is it?
Todd.
What is it? Laura? Is that your name?
it.
No, I'm joking.
I've spent the last 20 years or so in Florida, in the Naples, Southwest Florida area.
Okay.
And we moved up to Dayton about 1.5 years ago because the community here is so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We drove cross country from Florida to Michigan several years ago, and we stopped in the Dayton area on our way back town. And it was so nice.
You know what would make that drive even better for people traveling from Michigan to Florida and back?
Some Buffalo Wild Wings?
No. Well, okay.
Yes.
A giant Cheez-It statue right off the highway.
That would.
Yeah.
That would.
I mean, think about that.
Mhm.
That would be.
Who are we going to talk to about that?
Well, the discussions are ongoing.
Okay.
I know you just moved here. You said a couple of years ago. I don't know if you knew about my show. You said you started watching.
I started watching in October when this
right.
became a thing.
Well, what you've missed was my campaign to try to get a Cheez-It statue here in Dayton, and we actually succeeded in that. We had a local artist, Brady Harding, made this really cool giant Cheez-It, probably 5 foot by 5 foot. I mean, and it looks like a Cheez-It. And he put it on a pole, and now it's over at Carolina Historical Park. and they're preparing to they're trying to figure out a way to display it so people don't, mess with it. But that's fine and all. But my goal is I want a giant glowing cracker along I-75.
I'll help you with that petition if we can also put a glowing Quackers the Duck.
Well, we might be able to work out some sort of collaboration, right? I mean, because I know you're not supposed to feed ducks crackers, but we could always get some sort of Cheez-It cracker and put it in
we can
in
make
the
it
duck's
work.
mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hang tight, Laura. We'll be right back, and we'll sort of recap this and give you details on how you can get involved with the 26th annual North Dayton Barstool opening.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
So, all right, people. I put on our microphone so you can hear the chatter. So Laura was just asking me about why Cheez-It. So I was explaining to her that it was invented here. Well, here's the story. And we probably have a lot of people that are watching the live stream that may not necessarily know the story as well. For those who do, you'll just have to bear with me. So Cheez-It was invented here back in the late 20s. Like 27, 28, something like that. And it was created by a company called Green Bakery Biscuit Company. And it wasn't originally called Cheez-It, it was something else, but then they trademarked the name Cheez-It. So it became the cracker that it's known as. But it was like many corporations. It was sold to this company, and then it was sold to this company. It was, for the longest time, it was owned by Kellogg's, and now it's actually owned by Mars, the candy people. So my idea was we should have a Cheez-It statue, because I saw a story of a little town in Canada called Cheadle. Cheadle, Canada is the name of it. Well, apparently Cheetos, the orange stuff that you get on your fingers, in the Cheetos world, they call that Cheadle. So they created this statue of a hand sticking out of the ground holding this giant Cheeto. And I thought, well, look, if they can have that in a little bum town of Cheadle, Canada, why not us? We should have this. So I started the petition. I started a petition. We had over 1,000 people sign it online. And it's all grassroots for my show. I tried to get Kellogg's involved at the time, and they basically threatened me with a cease and desist.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, which was great. I mean, it disappointing, but also great.
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, see, they don't care about us.
So you just dashed my Cheez-It dreams.
Yeah. So I was talking about this one night, and Brady Kress, who's the CEO of Carolina Historical Park, he listens to the show, and he heard me talking about this, and he said, "Hey, we could partner with you. We could figure this out." So we did, and Brady Harding, the artist, Actually, what got him involved is because he listened to the show when I was talking about Cheez-It, he made this really cool sort of almost like a Cheez-It trophy. It's just like that big, and it's this big Cheez-It, and it's so cool. It's at my house in my studio at home. And he dropped that off one night, and I was just blown away. And then I had the idea. It's like, wait a second. I called him. I said, could you make a bigger one? He's like, well, how big? And I'm like, well, I don't know. How big could you do it? He says, well, I'm building I think it was the Easter Island statues. He uses this sort of industrial styrofoam. He carves it. He says, I'm making these for my backyard just as decor, something fun. And he says, I bet I could use a couple of those pieces and make it a Cheez-It. So that's what he did. So he made this big thing. We had this big deal over at Carillon. We had hundreds of people show up. We unveiled it. It was just kind of cool. So after that, I see where we're at. I thought, well, Dayton doesn't have, there's all these historical markers all over the place about all of these things that happened in Dayton, which is, it's tons and tons, but there isn't one for Cheez-It, for Green and Green. So I contacted Brady. I said, hey, what do we have to do to get one of those historical markers? And he said, well, you got to go through the State Historical Society, blah, 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 blah. So I did all this research. I downloaded the form. I filled it all out. And I sent it to the folks over at Carillon because they're the historians. I'm just some goofball on the radio. And they went through it. And they made some tiny little changes, location, whatever. They're very precise, and the state requires it to be very precise. So they submitted it, and we had to wait 1 year because they were only taking applications from underserved communities. This was not one of those.
Right.
But we waited the year, and then last year they came out and they said that, yes, it's been approved. So we're going to get a historical marker over off of Edwin C. Moses, because that's where the factory was back in Edgemont, which is that neighborhood. Part of the factory is still there. The factory where the Cheez-It, or the building where the Cheez-It was invented and produced, is gone, but part of the factory is still over there. So at some point, and it takes like a year and a half to make the stupid sign, and get it, and the city's already approved it. And
that's
Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill. All news, all the time.
Cops need your help after a body is found in Middletown. We'll have the latest at 6. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
The WHIO Storm Center is currently activated. We'll break in whenever you need to know about approaching severe weather. WHIO.
Adios, cowboy.
I'm saying it's over.
I'm afraid that's all.
What are you doing, Parker Testa? Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. It seemed a little early, but that's all right. We'll get it figured out. This happens on the show. I mean, it's, we're just making
to get you out of here.
I think he is. He wants me out of here quick. Well, we're wrapping up with my my guest, Laura Lafakis. She's from United Rehabilitation Services. And we've been talking about the 26th annual North Dayton Barstool Open. Teams of 4. You can get registered. It's at, 9 different bars?
9 different bars.
9 different bars in the north part of Dayton. You got the Corner Club, Irish Club, Maggie's, Wings Sports Bar, Submarine House in, I think you said Vandalia, right?
In Vandalia.
Little York Tavern, Villa Tavern, Rip Rap Roadhouse, and Spitfire.
Yes, and we're almost full of those. So
okay,
you want to sign up for your team as soon as possible.
Hit us one more time with that web address.
U.R.S. Dayton.org.
And this all goes to the United Rehabilitation Services. And she was telling us earlier that in the last 25 years, this particular event, just this event, has raised over $300,000 for U.R.S. here in Dayton.
Absolutely. And every penny stays here in our community.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, Laura, thank you so much for coming in, being on the show.
Thank you, Todd.
And thank you for the BW3 wings. Appreciate it.
Teriyaki, my favorite.
Oh, I love teriyaki.
Yeah,
those
so
smell good. Good. We've got UD basketball coming up. The Flyers are in the Bronx playing Fordham. Larry Hanskin's got the call. Pregame starts just after 6 o'clock. Don't forget, you can get the podcast of this show at eveningedgetodd.com and all your other favorite podcast platforms. And the live stream is available for playback at Facebook and YouTube. Have a great Wednesday night, and we'll see you tomorrow just after 5 here on the Evening Edge.
Well, show's over, folks. Thanks for coming.
Good show, old man.
Bravo. That was wonderful.
Game over, man.
Peace out.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching tonight. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be safe out there if it gets icy in your area.